52 million rand spent in South Africa over a period of 5 months to deport illegal immigrants. Finally, some government spending that makes sense, because if you spend 52 million rand today, you save billions going forward.
All right, listen to this now. There's been mixed reaction to revelations that the country has spent over 52 million rands in 5 months to deport almost 20,000 undocumented foreigners. The Home Affairs Department made the revelation in a written parliamentary reply to a question by the EFF.
Billions in all the mines that have been stripped bare by illegal Zama miners. You save billions in your infrastructure to provide water, electricity, and all sorts of sewage services to these people. You save money in the hospitals. You save money in crime, in housing them in prisons. There's thousands of them in South African prisons. And as we stand, we don't even know how many illegals are in South Africa because they come and go as they please. 52 million rand, barring any corruption, of course, is money well spent. The estimates say there's between 3 to 5 million illegals in South Africa. I say there's more, that's why we need more. People are deported this morning and come back this afternoon. It's going to take much more money. I would say hundreds of millions, if not billions. First, you set up a 3-month period where every illegal immigrant has to report themselves. And we give them a grace period to report themselves, sort of an amnesty, where they will not be documented as South Africans. One center in each province where these people have to report themselves within a period of 3 months, and in those 3 months they must get all their affairs in order. All their family that they've brought with them, any kids they've had, they have to report and get ready to be sent back home, because after 3 months there will be no mercy. We will be raiding every corner of the country, looking under every rock, and you will not be dealt with nicely. So 3 months, you report to one of these 3 centers in South Africa. And at those centers, you get fingerprinted, you get DNA'd. We make very diligent copies of your documents. We take several photos. And once we've taken a sample of your DNA and all that, we check our records against the police records for any crimes you may have committed. Can you see now we have to shape up our police services as well?
Okay.
These centers are run in collaboration with Home Affairs, the police, and the military. They're basically giant detention and processing centers. I say spend more. South Africa does not need to be squeamish about dealing with this issue. We need to face it head on. And once you report yourself to one of these centers and you get processed, you have 3 months to leave, and we set down your date, and you have to be processed out of the center so that we know that you left. You can't just say you've left. All your children that you've had, they do not get birth certificates and they are not South Africans because you came here illegally. What grace we do give you is that we give you the opportunity to report yourself. We do not seize any of your assets. You can leave with all the legal assets and all the monies you have. You're welcome to do that. If you have to sell a house, a car, or whatever, you're welcome to do that because we're a country of laws. You can still do it even if it takes longer than 3 months. Make your arrangements and do that. You can keep all the assets and the money you've earned. That's the gift and amnesty we give. But if you're found to have committed any crimes while we're processing you, you will be dealt with and arrested to serve your sentence in your home country, or you'll serve it here. Either way, crimes will be solved. Once you report to one of these 9 centers and are processed, anyone who comes into the country must come in with either one of 4 visas: short-term, medium-term, long-term, or special. Those are the only sort of people we let back in. Short-term, you're visiting, you're on holiday. Medium-term, you're here to invest or for a conference or to do some sort of work on a short-term basis. Medium-term is people that are buying houses, investing their money here and coming to work for 2 years or more. Special is people that we've invited or are here for a specific reason because we need their skills or their knowledge or something like that. Those are the only 4 types of people that come into this country. We get rid of our refugee status. We remove ourselves from that regime and say that we can't take any more people. We have too many problems of our own. We set up an e-verify system, which is a system that checks every employer and every employee against a government system that verifies their legality in the country and their ability to work here.
A group called Combat
is on a mission to expose companies which it says exploit employment and immigration laws of this country. It's calling on South Africans looking for work to take their CVs to Cresta Mall. This is a mall here in Johannesburg, to try their luck at restaurants as immigration officials continue to inspect businesses for compliance purposes.
And then we have inspectors that go around every place of employment and verify that people are legal South Africans that can work here, or if they're not South Africans, they have the permits to work here and are qualified to work in South Africa. After those 3 months, we spend even more money.
A South African court on Monday granted an order to Cape Town authorities to remove hundreds of refugees who have been squatting for 4 months on a busy street of the popular tourist destination.
No way you can go.
Judge Daniel Tualera said that the city had a right to uphold its bylaws which prohibit sleeping, washing, defecating or cooking on the street. The city sought the injunction after around 700 foreign nationals, mainly from DR Congo and Burundi, moved into Cape Town Central Green Market Square last year.
We take our military and police and we turn every part of South Africa upside down, and we weed out every single illegal immigrant. And if you are illegal and you're still here in this country after that 3-month grace period, that 3-month amnesty, you will be dealt with harshly. And the president must go on TV and tell them that if you are still in this country after 3 months, we will pull you out of those buildings or out of the place that you live. We will throw your belongings onto the street. Your children will be crying. You will be on television, but we will not stop because we want to get our country right. We will throw your belongings to the street. We will arrest you. We will put you in the back of a truck and we will ship you out to your country, and we will seize everything that you own because we gave you the 3-month amnesty and you still carried on with your crime. This is a crime. This is illegal. You come to this country, you pilfer our country, you poison our children, you dig up our gold, you strain our services, and then you lie to the police and you bribe and commit crimes. And then we give you an amnesty even after all that, and you still didn't take it. We will treat you like the dishonest degenerate that you are. We will throw you onto the street. That's what the president should say.
We want the UNHCR to attend us. Actually, we don't even see them. And we want the whole world to see what is happening right now in South Africa and what South African government is capable of. They don't care about human beings, as you are considered like animal. They need to kill us like just animals.
For every illegal miner from Lesotho, they must be told that if you are found in a mine, if you do not surrender, we will shoot you, or we will throw bombs in there and bring that whole place down on your head and send your body back to your mother with a toe tag from the South African government on your toe, signed by the president, that says, "We told him so."
Right to this now. Police in KwaZulu-Natal have detained a number of foreign nationals during a raid on spaza shops and other stores suspected of selling counterfeit goods in Durban. They will now verify their immigration status.
That's the sort of stance I say we take, and that's going to take more money. 53 million rand is fine as long as there's no corruption involved, but I say spend more. This is the sort of government spending I can get behind because it'll get our country right. Even if we spend billions on this, it will be money well spent, better spent than we did for the State Capture Commission. You know why? It'll help us solve thousands of crimes. It'll clean up informal settlements. It'll take the strain off our hospitals, our water infrastructure, our electricity infrastructure, our sanitation infrastructure. It'll clean up communities. It'll get rid of zamazamas that are stealing natural resources and terrorizing communities. It'll get rid of people all over our communities that are unwelcomed, poisoning our children in their decrepit little spaza shops, and so many more things. It'll be money well spent. And then, as if that wasn't enough, and we carry on with that for years, for a full term of 5 years. And then, because now we've spent money on the processing centers and all that I've described there, we've spent money on the operations of going through the entirety of South Africa, turning the whole place upside down to weed out illegal immigrants, now secure the border, spend more money. We now have a course on Teachable. It's for boys between the ages of 10 and 18, about 12 men from the Bible. where we teach about manhood, masculinity, and becoming a man. Check it out.
The city had complained of unhealthy odors from the use of streets and sidewalks as toilets, the judge said in a ruling, adding the smell was unbearable. The noise, fight and sexual acts in public by the respondents raised concern. However, the asylum seekers say they want to be given a new life in another country.
Put up the biggest fences, the biggest walls, the biggest electronics, the biggest drones, the biggest cameras, the biggest everything, and we keep everybody out. We are a fortress, and our policy at the border should be soldiers in position, dogs on the prowl, and guns out. And if you try to somehow get through this wonderful fence and this wonderful wall, we will shoot you, and then the dog will tear into you. Very simple. Come through the gate or don't come at all. We should not be squeamish. We should not be the sort of people that shy away from doing the difficult thing, because in the long run, if you clean up your country like this, anybody coming in will be illegal and a reasonable person, and it will save us so much more money from the burden of carrying these people. This is what we should do, using our police, our military, and every resource we can. In conclusion, I get behind that sort of spend. 52 million is well worth it, and I would say spend more. Give them 3 months of a grace period, an amnesty. Process them in one of 9 centers, 1 in each province, of the most high-tech deportation processing facilities on earth, where people get ID'd, fingerprinted, we take their DNA and many other things, we get their paperwork right, and then they have 3 months to ship out. Them and their children, and every birth certificate ever given to one of these illegal children is revoked. After those 3 months, we are harsh and very rigid on any illegal immigrant, are not squeamish, and we do not shy away from treating them harshly because the grace period has passed and they were warned, and if you are still here, we put our boot on your neck. And third, we fortify our borders, soldiers at the ready, dogs on the prowl, and guns out. A saying, if we are intended for great ends, we are called to great hazards. John Henry Newman. If we want our country to be great as we believe it to be, we must be willing to do the difficult and hazardous thing. The world will call us all sorts of names for doing this, but we should not care. We should do what is right and what is difficult and what is hazardous. What is best for our country, for our economy, and for the future of our children. And not listen to cowards who would rather be viewed as nice than do what is right. I recommend we put this plan into action immediately, and I call it Operation E-Verify. The case is closed, my friend. The only party that will have the stones enough to do this sort of thing would be a conservative party and does not subscribe to woke ideologies, to Pan-Africanism, to socialism, and will not get squeamish for doing what is just and what is right. We need a conservative party because the GNU, DA, the GNU, ANC would not do such a thing. They would rather sign everyone up and make them legal citizens. Thank you for listening. If you dare, buy us a coffee. The link is in the description.